Hello, everyone. If you're someone who has been learning English for a while, but still struggles to understand spoken English clearly, don't worry, you're not alone. Today, we're going to talk about how you can improve your English listening skills using simple, practical methods that you can apply in your daily life. This video is especially useful if you've ever felt lost while watching English movies, television shows, or even listening to conversations. By the end of this video, you'll know how to train your ears to understand English better and feel more confident when people speak to you. So, let's dive into the journey of improving your listening, not with textbooks, but with real-life techniques and daily exposure. Let's start with something very simple. Think about how you learned your first language. You didn't start by reading grammar books. You learned by listening to your parents, your friends, your teachers. Listening came first, and everything else followed. The same is true for English. To become good at English, you need to first become a good listener. And to become a good listener, you need to listen every day, not just once in a while. It has to be part of your routine, just like eating or brushing your teeth. The more you hear the language, the more familiar it becomes to your brain. Your brain starts recognizing common patterns, sounds, and words, without you even trying too hard. Now, how can you bring English listening into your daily life? One of the best ways is to start your morning with English audio. As soon as you wake up and start getting ready for your day, play an English podcast or English news on your phone. Don't worry if you don't understand every word. Just let the language enter your ears. At this stage, the goal is not to understand everything, but to make your ears comfortable with the sound of English. Over time, your brain will automatically start picking up familiar words and phrases. Here's a practice exercise you can try every morning. Choose a short English audio clip, maybe just 1 or 2 minutes long. Listen to it without reading the script. Try to guess what it's about. Then, listen to it again, this time while reading the transcript. Finally, listen to it a third time without the script and notice how much more you understand. Do this every day, and you'll notice a big improvement in your listening. Another effective method is shadowing. Shadowing means repeating what you hear immediately after you hear it. You can do this with short English videos or audio clips. Play one sentence, pause, and repeat it exactly how the speaker said it. Try to copy their pronunciation, rhythm, and intonation. This not only improves your listening, but also your speaking skills. For example, you can play a line like, "I'm going to the store. Do you want anything?" And then repeat, "I'm going to the store. Do you want anything?" Try to sound as close to the speaker as possible. When you shadow, you train your brain to listen actively and reproduce what you hear, which sharpens your listening focus. Here's a daily practice you can follow with shadowing. Choose one short conversation or video clip each day. Listen to the first 10 seconds. Pause and repeat what you heard. Then listen to the next 10 seconds and do the same. Keep going until the end of the clip. After doing this, replay the whole clip and try to shadow along with it in real time without pausing. This will help you become faster and more confident with your listening. Also, don't forget about the power of subtitles. Watching English movies or series with subtitles in English is a great way to improve your listening. At first, you might rely a lot on the subtitles, but after some time, you'll notice that you're not even reading them as much. Your ears will get used to the spoken English, and you'll start understanding more and more just by listening. Try watching your favorite movie with English subtitles on. Then, watch it again with subtitles off and see how much you can understand now. Here's a simple subtitle practice you can try. Pick a scene from a movie or show. Watch it once with English subtitles and focus on matching the spoken words with the written ones. The next day, watch the same scene without subtitles and see how much you remember and understand. This kind of repetition builds strong listening habits. Another thing that helps a lot is to listen to different English accents. English is spoken all over the world, and the accent from the United States is not the same as from the UK, Australia, or South Africa. If you only listen to one kind of accent, it might be hard for you to understand someone who speaks differently. So, try to expose yourself to different English speakers. You can do this by watching YouTube videos or interviews from people around the world. Just search for American English Interview, British English Conversation, or Australian English Dialogue, and listen to how the pronunciation and rhythm change. As you begin listening to more English, it's important to develop the habit of active listening. Active listening means you're not just hearing the words, but you are focusing and trying to understand what is being said. It means paying attention to the speaker's tone, the way they connect words, the pauses they take, and the emotions in their voice. You can practice active listening even in your free time, for instance, when you're waiting at the bus stop, cooking, or doing laundry. You can play English audio and focus on listening carefully. Make it a part of your background environment, but stay mentally engaged with what you hear. This mental engagement is what helps your brain create stronger memory connections to new vocabulary and sentence structures. Here's a good exercise to build your active listening skills. Choose a short English dialogue, for example, a daily conversation from a podcast or a short video. Play it once, and write down all the words or phrases you understand. Don't pause. Just let it play and take notes. Then play it again and try to fill in the gaps. What new words can you catch the second time? Repeat it a third time, and this time, write a short summary of what the speakers are talking about. This trains your brain to concentrate and extract meaning from the spoken language even if you don't catch every word. Many learners feel nervous when they don't understand everything. But the truth is, even native speakers sometimes miss a word or two. So don't feel discouraged. The goal is to understand the general message, not every single word. Context is your best friend when listening. Try to guess the meaning of new words from the situation, the tone, or the surrounding words. If someone says, "I had a really rough day at work," and you're not sure about the word rough, you can still guess that it wasn't a good day. This is how you start thinking in English, by using clues and understanding the message, not by translating in your head. You can also train your ear with songs. English songs are filled with natural pronunciation, contractions, connected speech, and slang. Listening to them helps you hear how English sounds outside the textbook. Choose a song you like and listen to it several times. Then search for the lyrics and read along while listening. Try to sing or say the words out loud. Notice how the words are pronounced differently than how they look. This builds your ability to hear natural English and get used to everyday expressions. Here's a listening and speaking exercise using music. Pick a slow song with clear lyrics, like a pop or acoustic song. Listen to it once, and try to write down as many words as you can catch. Then look at the official lyrics and compare what you wrote. Practice saying or singing the lines along with the song. Repeat the song several times until you can follow it without the lyrics. This makes learning fun and helps your ears adapt to fast, natural English speech. Another powerful listening strategy is to focus on chunks instead of individual words. Native speakers don't speak word by word. They speak in chunks or groups of words that belong together. For example, instead of hearing, I am going to, you'll often hear, I'm gonna. Instead of, what are you doing? You'll hear, what ya doin'? If you're always trying to hear and translate each word separately, you'll fall behind. But if you train your ear to recognize common chunks of speech, you'll understand conversations much faster. To practice this, try a chunk recognition exercise. Find a simple dialogue, maybe from a beginner English conversation video. Listen to a short sentence like, what are you doing today? Try to repeat it as a chunk. What you doing today? Then listen again and try to break the sentence into natural phrases. What are you doing today? Now try repeating the chunk smoothly several times. This helps you hear and produce natural spoken English patterns more easily. You can also create a daily journal activity focused on listening. Every evening, write down what you listened to that day in English. It could be a podcast, a conversation with a friend, a video you watched, or even music. Write a few lines about what you learned, or what new words you heard. This reflection helps you stay consistent and makes you more aware of your progress. You might write something like, today I listened to a podcast about food. I learned the phrase mouth-watering and craving. The speaker spoke fast, but I understood the part about different cuisines. Over time, these small notes will show you how much your listening has improved. Listening skills are built slowly but surely. The key is consistency. Listening for just 10 to 15 minutes a day can bring more results than listening for 2 hours only once a week. Make it a habit that feels natural and enjoyable. Choose topics you like: food, travel, movies, relationships, sports, or any subject that interests you. When you enjoy what you're listening to, your brain stays engaged, and you learn faster. As you make listening a part of your routine, you'll also start noticing that your vocabulary begins to grow naturally, without even opening a dictionary. You'll start recognizing words just by hearing them repeatedly in different contexts. For example, if you listen to someone say, I grabbed a cup of coffee before the meeting, and then hear in another video, he grabbed his keys before leaving. Your brain starts to understand the use of the word grabbed. This is called incidental learning, learning that happens without formal study. It's one of the most powerful outcomes of regular listening. The more you expose yourself to English in real-life usage, the more you learn words, phrases, and grammar without even realizing it. Another powerful way to improve listening is through English storytelling. Stories are easy to follow, and they carry emotion, which makes them easier to remember. When you listen to a story, your brain stays alert because you want to know what happens next. Try listening to short stories, audiobooks, or even bedtime stories in English. Choose simple ones if you're a beginner, and move to more complex ones as you progress. Stories help you get used to different sentence structures, tenses, and vocabulary, while keeping you entertained. Here's a listening and reflection practice with stories. Pick a short story, maybe 5 minutes long. Listen to the story once, without any subtitles or transcripts. Then, try to retell the story in your own words, out loud or in writing. This forces your brain to focus on the meaning, not just the words. After that, listen again and compare it to your version. You'll start noticing which parts you understood well and which parts need more work. This exercise helps improve both comprehension and memory. Don't forget that your environment also plays a big role in your listening progress. If you live in a place where English is not spoken much, it becomes even more important to create your own English world. This means surrounding yourself with English input as much as possible. Change your phone language to English. Listen to English podcasts while walking or driving. Watch English shows while eating. Even if you don't have someone to speak with, you can still listen to English every day and train your ears. One more technique that works very well is called listening repetition. This means listening to the same audio again and again until you fully understand it. At first, you may only catch a few words, but by the fifth or sixth time, you'll start understanding almost everything. Repetition helps your brain recognize familiar patterns, and you get better with each replay. Don't feel bored. Instead, treat it as a challenge. Try this method with short clips or even entire scenes from movies. Here's how you can apply listening repetition. Choose a 1-minute audio clip. Listen to it once and try to understand the general meaning. Listen again and write down the key phrases. Then listen again and repeat each sentence after the speaker. Continue this cycle every day for a week with the same clip. You'll be amazed how much clearer the audio becomes and how naturally your brain begins to process English. Another way to keep your listening sharp is to combine it with reading. This is called dual input. When you listen and read the same material at the same time, it helps your eyes and ears work together. This is especially useful if you're learning pronunciation or trying to improve your understanding of fast speech. Start with simple texts like English news articles or blog posts that also have an audio version. Read along while listening, and then try listening again without the text. Here's a practice example using dual input. Choose a news story in English with audio and transcript. First, read the article silently. Then, listen while reading the transcript. Next, close the transcript and listen again. Finally, try summarizing the news in your own words out loud. This method improves comprehension, pronunciation, and overall listening ability. The more senses you involve in learning, the stronger the result. Many learners ask how they can test their listening progress. The answer is to do self-assessments regularly. For example, pick a short English video you've never heard before. Listen to it once and try to explain what you understood. Then check the script or turn on subtitles to see how close you were. Write down any new words you didn't know. This helps you keep track of your improvement and motivates you to continue. Another great idea is to record yourself repeating what you hear in English. Then play your recording and compare it to the original. This exercise sharpens both listening and speaking skills at the same time. You can even turn your daily routines into listening opportunities. For example, if you're doing household chores like washing dishes or cleaning your room, use that time to listen to English podcasts or radio. If you're walking in the park or exercising, play English audiobooks. The key is to make English listening part of your lifestyle. It doesn't need to be formal or difficult. Just be consistent and keep your ears open to the language wherever you are. Let's talk a bit about how emotions and interest influence listening. When you're emotionally engaged or interested in the topic, your brain becomes more focused and receptive. That's why it's important to choose listening content that you enjoy. If you love cooking, listen to English recipes or food shows. If you enjoy sports, find English sports commentary or interviews with athletes. When the topic matters to you, you listen more carefully and naturally absorb more information. You're not just studying English, you're living it in the context of things that make you happy. This is a secret to enjoying the process and not feeling like learning English is a chore. Try this daily interest-based listening routine. Each day, pick a topic you enjoy and find a 5-minute video or podcast in English on that topic. Listen to it once, just to enjoy. The second time, try to catch new vocabulary or expressions. Write those words down in a notebook and try to use them in a sentence of your own. This personal connection to the content makes learning stick, and it becomes easier to remember what you've learned because it was part of something that brought you joy. There's also value in listening to real conversations between people. These are not scripted like news broadcasts or formal lessons. They're messy, natural, and full of useful expressions you'll actually hear in daily life. Try listening to English vlogs, interviews, or podcasts that feature 2 or more people talking casually. You'll hear how people interrupt each other, how they agree, disagree, ask questions, and express emotions. These are the real patterns of spoken English. When you get used to this kind of listening, real-life conversations won't feel so difficult anymore. Here's a real conversation practice technique. Find a podcast episode or a YouTube video where 2 native speakers are talking. Play a short segment and pause every time a speaker finishes a sentence. Repeat the sentence out loud and try to match the tone and rhythm. Listen carefully for fillers like, you know, I mean, or actually. These are commonly used in casual speech. Try writing them down and practicing them in your own example sentences. This makes your listening sharper and your speaking more natural. To push your skills further, try using question-based listening. Before you play any English audio, write down 3 simple questions. For example, who is speaking? What is the topic? What happened? Then listen and try to answer your own questions. This forces you to focus on specific details, which improves both your comprehension and memory. You can do this while watching English interviews, storytelling videos, or documentaries. The more specific your questions, the more deeply you will listen. Now let's talk about the speed of native speakers. Many learners struggle with how fast English sounds. Native speakers often connect words together, drop syllables, or use reduced forms. For example, instead of saying, "What are you doing?" someone might say, "Whatcha doin'?" This connected speech is very normal and can make listening difficult. But the good news is, your brain can adapt to it with enough exposure. The more you listen to fast, natural English, the more you'll get used to these reductions and start hearing them clearly. One way to train for this is through slowed audio practice. Many platforms allow you to slow down the speed of a video or audio file. Start by listening at 80% speed, and then gradually move back to normal speed as your understanding improves. Don't worry if it feels hard at first, just keep going. Over time, your brain will adjust to faster speech, and you won't need to slow it down anymore. You can also practice selective listening. This means choosing to focus on just one part of a conversation. For example, listen only for questions, or only for verbs, or only for words that express emotions. This focused approach helps you become a more active and attentive listener. You start to notice how often people ask questions like, "What do you mean?" or how they express surprise with phrases like, "No way," or "Really." Try repeating these small parts of conversations to get used to their tone and rhythm. Here's one final practice routine that you can add to your day. Create your own listening corner. Set aside 15 minutes every day, same time, same place, and call it your English ear training time. During this time, Do one listening activity. It could be watching a short video, listening to a podcast, repeating a shadowing exercise, or reviewing a story. Keep it consistent. The key is not the amount of time, but the habit. Once listening becomes a daily part of your life, you'll stop translating in your head and start understanding naturally. Remember, listening is a gateway to fluency. It's how babies learn to speak, and it's how you can become fluent too. The more you listen, the more you understand. The more you understand, the more confident you become in speaking. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to keep showing up, keep listening, and keep learning. Every word you hear is a step forward. Every sentence you understand is a success. And every minute you spend listening to English is a gift to your future self. Thank you for spending your time with me today. If this video helped you, make sure to subscribe to English in Minutes and click the bell icon so you never miss a chance to improve your English. We upload new videos every day to help you on your journey to fluency. Keep practicing, keep listening, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care and happy learning.